Hi, good morning. For the benefit of those who don't know me, I'm Caron Gordon, and let me start with my disclaimer. I am not a physician, I'm not a doctor, I'm an alternative medicine student. I enjoy the path I'm on with this degree. Thanks to God for directing me there. I am very happy with the course of my studies. So I did 2 videos previously, and I want to say, before I go further, a big thank you to those of you who've been sharing the videos. I've gotten your responses, your questions. I try to respond to some of them. It's difficult getting through to all, but I will try my best too. But thank you so far. Please remember, if you know anybody who might need this information, and I'm sure we all do in a time like this, please forward the video to them. You could be saving a life, you could be helping someone. So today, I would also love to encourage you to look at the video I posted 2 days ago, and that one is on COVID and depression or anxiety, because a lot of people, their anxiety levels are raising because of what's happening. You know, a lot of heart palpitation, a lot of stress and sleeplessness. Okay, so please take a look at that video. Today I'm going to be running through some stuff with you. I'm trying to be as brief as possible, trying not to make the videos too tall, but I really want you to have the information. I'm going to be looking at magnesium, vitamin D, turmeric, and fevers. Why? Because these are some of the things that we want to be using, or we might find useful in this time. Not saying that you have to change anything that you're doing, but these are some things that I supplement on a daily basis, and you might want to learn more about it, or you might want to try it, or you might want to discuss it with your doctor. That's fine. All right, magnesium. Magnesium has so much functions in the body. It's such an important mineral that we all should be supplementing on. One of the reasons we have to supplement is that the recommended daily dosage that we need in our bodies for us to function optimally, we are not able to eat enough to get what we need in that large dosage or amount. So it's simple. Sometimes I'll say to persons, are you supplementing? Are you on vitamin? Yes, I take a multivitamin, you know, I'm doing this and whatever. Okay, let me see the ingredients, what's in it. Oh, this multivitamin, it's really good. 1 milligram vitamin B, 2 milligram B3, 20 milligram vitamin C, and you know, when you listen to those numbers, you know, they're really not getting anything. Basically, you have to supplement to get the amount that you need. All right, I'm talking about the magnesium now. Magnesium helps to build our tissues and to it helps our enzymes, right, to repair and to build tissues, and that's very important. It also helps to repair DNA and prevent mutation. That's important because, you know, you really want to be able to prevent mutation, especially, you see, these viruses, they tend to mutate, and we don't want stuff mutating in our bodies. We don't want to end up with chronic diseases. So we really want to be able to supplement on our magnesium. Very important. How do we get magnesium? Naturally, it is found in like chlorophyll, which is how the leaves get their colors, or green leaves. So you want to be eating a lot of dark green leafy vegetable, which is really good for us anyway, for many other things. So you want to get those green leaves in, like your spinach, your you want to get your callaloo, you want to get some broccoli, all of that. It's responsible, that's magnesium, for relaxing blood vessels. Now that is important for persons with hypertension. It's important for persons with a lot of headache. You know, headache has often to do with blood flow, or pain, blood not getting to certain areas. So we have an issue with blood flow, we're going to be experiencing pain. Even hair loss, because if blood is not getting up to be taking oxygen to our hair follicles, hair root, sometimes we start having thinning hair, and all that. So you really want the blood vessels to be relaxed. Magnesium does that for our bodies. It binds to our receptor sites and open the pathways for other minerals. So you might be taking other minerals and they're not doing like they should because we're not also supplementing with magnesium. So magnesium helps the other minerals that we take to work better in our body. It really activates the nerve or parasympathetic nervous system. That is important. That's our rest or digest. Now everybody is on a fight or flight mode, and I explained that in the video I did 2 days ago with anxiety and depression. So most people are in a fight or flight mode. Why? Because we're watching the news constantly. I encourage persons to pull away from it sometimes. There are so many other things you can do. Read a book, invest in yourself. Readers are leaders. Read a book, go play some board game with your family, go meditate, go pray, read your Bible. There are so many other things that we can do. Have family time, go cook, go plant something in the backyard, cook with your children, teach them to cook. So there are many activities that we can engage ourselves in and our family other than sitting glued to the television and keep us in a fight or flight mode, raise our stress level, blood pressure, we start having anxiety attack, and you name it. Now I'm going to mention a few things that persons will notice if they're deficient in their magnesium. Diabetes is one such thing. Hypertension, because remember again we need it to relax our blood vessels so our blood can flow properly. Hypertension, osteoporosis, anxiety attack, depression, heart disease, headaches. I could stop for so long on headaches because for those who know me, this is one thing I struggled with since I was a teenager, since I think I was 16 years old when I started having these chronic headaches, and it was every day, migraines, or I had to constantly be going to the doctor for headache. It got to a point I had them every day. I had to always walk with a bottle of Excedrin. I had to just always have those pills on me because I was going to have a headache, okay? And for the last 3 years, since I've started in the alternative medicine course and learned the importance of magnesium, there are many studies on it. You could check out chelated magnesium and migraines, okay? You really want to read about that if you suffer with migraines and you really want to talk to your doctor about your magnesium levels, okay? So until I started supplementing on magnesium, I was known for these terrible headaches, especially on Sundays when I had to meet and greet a lot of people, different scents, you know, from perfumes, the crowds, wear a hat on my head, all this tension. I was it was really horrible for me. But since I started supplementing on magnesium, I rarely have a headache, okay? Calcium deposits, it really, if we're not supplementing on magnesium because it helps to absorb calcium, we're going to be having calcium deposits and we don't need that, all right? Fatigue, if you're deficient in magnesium, you're going to be fatigued, you're going to be exhausted, you're going to experience muscle ache and muscle weakness. It really helps to strengthen the muscles, you need that, and you're going to also have constipation issues. Remember, it relaxes our muscles, it relaxes our stomach muscle, so then you're able, your feces will be able to flow freely through your intestines. So you really want to be supplementing on your magnesium, okay? Vitamin D, I'm going to talk a little about. Most of us know that we get our vitamin D from the sunlight. If you stay in the sun, you need at least 30 minutes of sunlight every day so you can have the recommended daily dosage of vitamin D that you need. If you're not able to get sunlight and you're in the winter season, if you have a job where you're just from home to work in your office every day, by the time you leave and get out there is no sun, you really want to be supplementing on your vitamin D, okay? You need at least 10,000 international units per day. That's 10,000 IU. Okay, it really helps to build your immune system. It also helps to absorb your calcium. So if you're not if you're taking calcium, you want to be also supplementing that with your vitamin D to make sure you have stronger bones and the calcium is really absorbed. So it builds your immune system and it helps to combat diseases. So as I mentioned in my first video, right now you want to be supplementing on your vitamin C's, you want to be supplementing on vitamin D, and you really want to be supplementing on zinc. Okay, 3 very, very important immune system builders that we need to be on now. If you can refer to that first video, it's on YouTube, for more information on the dosages that you need now, and especially if you're fighting something. If you feel like you're coming down with any kind of a symptom, you really need to be on that fast. The vitamin D helps our cells to proliferate. It's produced in our skin, and it's activated when we go in the sunlight. That's just so beautiful. I just really love, and the more I do this study, is the more I appreciate God and how he just made things just so awesome. He really considers his people. It helps with the proper functioning of your ears, and it helps you to burn calories. So if you're deficient in vitamin D, you might be gaining weight because you're not burning calories as efficiently as you should. So you really want to be supplementing on it. It's very, very good for sinus issues. So you might be having, and let me tell you, in this time there are so many people whose sinus has been acting very crazy. I'm hearing it like every day. You really want to be supplementing on your vitamin D now to get your sinusitis under control. For those who are complaining about it, your vitamin C, your vitamin D, refer again to the first video so you can know the dosage that you need. Vitamin D helps with the nerve function, and it also helps with brain function. So we really need to be supplementing on that. And it is found that persons with dementia, some of them are found to be deficient in vitamin D. So you really want to be supplementing on your vitamin D. It helps your brain function, and it really helps your nerve functions. You want to eat more fatty fish, and that's where you would get your vitamin D from, other than from the sun or if you're supplementing in a pill. Now, these are some of the symptoms we will notice if we're deficient in vitamin D, and it's not an exhaustive list, but you know, you're talking about vertigo. Remember earlier I said it helps your ear function and balance, so vertigo is one such thing. Dementia, you're talking about heart disease, you're talking about osteoporosis, you're talking about depression or fatigue, you're talking about type 1 diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis. Now remember earlier I did say that it helps cells to proliferate, okay, and it builds your immune system. So if you are deficient, then a lot of persons with autoimmune disease, they're found to be deficient in vitamin D, which is why you're talking about people with rheumatoid arthritis, you're talking about people with MS, you're talking about people with type 1 diabetes, okay? So it also slows wound healing. So if you're deficient, your wound will take longer to heal. Remember, it is very good for the hair follicles. If you're experiencing hair loss, you might be deficient in vitamin D. And usually, whatever is good for the hair is also good for the skin. So if you're deficient, you're going to have very slow wound healing. So you need to look at that. Also, muscle aches, bone pain, rickets. These are some of the symptoms persons experience who are deficient in vitamin D. So if from anything that I've said so far, you might be like, no wonder, maybe you want to go to your doctor, you want to ask for a blood test that checks your vitamin D level and also your magnesium levels. There are tests out there that test for absolutely everything in your body. So you can ask for a test, and then you can take it from there. All right, want to talk a little bit about turmeric. Most people are familiar with turmeric by now. There was a lot of hype around it in recent years. It is from the ginger family, probably ginger cousin. So a lot of people will use the ginger root. You can get it to buy. It looks pretty much like ginger, except it seems a little more yellow to me. It's a spice. It is found, a lot of it is found in curry. It is widely used in India, right? It has anti-inflammatory properties and antioxidant. So that is really important. It is found to reduce Alzheimer's disease. And we're talking about because it has anti-inflammatory property, because Alzheimer's is related to inflammation in the brain. So these are some of the things you want to take it, you would like to supplement on it so you can lower your risk of some of these diseases. All right, it's big in India, and I said it's the main ingredient in curry. The thing with turmeric is that you want to take it with, it absorbs better, much better with pepperine, okay? So that's basically black pepper. So usually, in my first video, as I said, I'm a pill person. I take my supplements in pill form. Usually I get the turmeric. I purchase the one that already has the black pepper combination of turmeric. So a lot of people will be, oh, I'm taking the turmeric, but you need to understand, for you to really absorb it, you really want to add black pepper to it. You can cook with it. A lot of us do a lot of curry. Mustard is very rich in turmeric, so you can start adding mustard to your salad. You get the turmeric in. You can make a turmeric drink. There are a lot of people who make the turmeric and the milk as warm tea and they drink it at night. You can mix the turmeric with ginger and cayenne pepper with a little honey to sweeten it, and you can make that as a regular tea or a regular drink. Now you need between 200 milligram to 2000 milligram per day. Personally, I am usually between the 1300 to 1600. It really helps with arthritic pain. So if you're suffering with arthritis pains, remember it reduces inflammation, and arthritis has a lot to do with inflammation. So you really want to be supplementing on that for your arthritis. Another thing that reduces inflammation for arthritis, I'm just going to drop it in right here, I'm not talking about that today, is colloidal silver. All right, there has been numerous studies with that, so you want to do your own reading. Of course, everything that is good, there is something out there discouraging persons from using it. You must understand that. But yeah, for arthritic pains, you want to be supplementing on your turmeric. The antioxidant properties in it, it helps to also relieve us of pain. So other aches and pains, inflammation, pain has a lot to do with inflammation. It has to do with blood flow, okay? So as long as you remember that. Turmeric, it supports your immune system. So some of us want to be supplementing on it now. If you can find it, make your teas, make your juice. It also eases depression. You're talking about lowering inflammation, okay? It aids in breathing problems. So for those who are asthmatic or having any kind of breathing issues, you're talking about COPD, all that. You want to supplement, and you can talk to your doctors about that on turmeric, or just try to drink a lot of turmeric tea. It aids in digestion. So if you're having digestion problems, you might want to be supplementing on a little turmeric. It improves your liver function. It also thins your blood. So if you're already on a blood thinner, you want to avoid it unless you really speak to your doctor, which that also reminds me to say that about the guinea hen weed, because a lot of people are taking it now. And while it has very, very good benefits for a lot of things, you want to understand that it also thins blood. So if you're already on a blood thinner, if you already have very heavy menstruation, these are two things you want to avoid unless you talk to somebody who is trained in alternative medicine, a holistic doctor, should I even be saying that, or you want to speak to your medical doctor about advising you on that. Okay, I'm going to fevers. I think my time is not too bad here. I'm going to talk a little about fevers, because people get frightened by fevers, and they get so nervous, they get so anxious. Oh, I'm having a fever. Okay, the normal body temperature, as we all know, it is 98.6. okay, that's normal. Is fever a bad thing? Should I be so scared? And I'm not saying if it gets to a certain level, you shouldn't be concerned. But I think more people need to understand the purpose of a fever. What does a fever say to us? The body sends us signals all the time. Pain is a signal to say something is not right in this area of the body. You may need to check it out, or you may need to check why I'm having this pain, okay? Fever is saying to us, we are fighting something. It is a very beneficial body response. It lets you know there is an infection somewhere in the body. It lets you know there is some germ somewhere in the body, and the body is doing its work. This is how God made our bodies to function. So this is our body's response. It's like histamine. It's our immune response to a foreign matter, something that comes in our body, and our body thinks that we need to fight it, okay? So it releases histamines. But then what we do, instead of finding what is really the problem, we take antihistamines. So we block that kind of a response. The best thing is not to treat our responses by blocking them, but we need to further investigate, why is my body responding in such a manner. So and that's why I find alternative medicine to be such a brilliant profession. I have met some of the most brilliant doctors in this course who've taught us the course. And why? They try to understand the body from A to Z and its function and why it is doing that. And they're not trying to block our responses, but they try to understand, why is the body responding this way. The treatment, they look at your spiritual life, they look at your they look at prayer, they look at meditation, they look at your psychological health and your physical health. They look at your environment, they just look at everything around you. It's not like slap, bap, let me give you this pill to cover it. Come back in 2 weeks so I can make more money and sell you more pills. That's not the kind of response. And I love people. And this is why I can appreciate a profession that really responds in this way. Okay, so yes, this is how our body with fevers, we're responding to an attack, right? Because we have these immune cells and this is their job. So if something foreign, if something harmful, if some kind of germ, if some kind of an infection, the fever, it helps our immune cells and it helps our T cells to fight these infections. So that's what the fever is about. When the body gets hot, it's like it's heating up, it's sending that signal, it's sending that message so that the blood flows faster, so that these T cells and these immune cells that must attack this virus or this infection, it will understand something is happening. We all need to rally together now as an army, and we're going to that area of the body that is having a problem, and we're going to defend it, and we're going to fight. That's the signal that these fighter cells, immune cells, get when the body has a fever, all right? So the blood starts rushing to take these fighter cells to the site of the problem, and they attack it and they deal with the situation, so to speak. That's when you have a proper functioning immune system, all right? So it runs to the sites and it destroys these germs and infection in the body. That's the purpose for a fever. When you understand it this way, we know that we don't have to panic, get frightened by it, or go crazy. It really just stimulates your immune system and gets your immune system working. Now, this is how brilliant the body is. Yes, when you have a fever, you start sweating. Why? Because if the temperature is raising, and remember that heat kills viruses, right? We've established that already. We talk about the sunlight and different heat that, you know, whether that is why we cook our food. We're killing bacteria. Heat kills bacteria and viruses. So we all know that. So when the body is heating up, the body is literally giving itself heat so that it can kill or it can fight this infection. It warms up because heat will kill the virus. So don't be afraid of it. It's a beautiful response, or immune system stimulated to fight. Now when it gets really hot, we start sweating. Why? Because now the sweat is like a shower of rain that comes to calm things down. So that is the reason we sweat. So the pores are opened up. Now we're too hot. I'm going to send the rain or water down to calm you down, calm the area down, cool the body down. That's basically, in very basic terms, how the body functions. So our sprinkler turns on, and now it starts sprinkling, it's sending the water to cool our fevers down. Some of the things you can do when you have a fever, as opposed to just being frightened by it. And of course, fevers are not, you don't want extended fevers, because something is wrong. It means that your immune system is not fighting well enough. But here are some natural ways that we can cool our fevers down. You can drink some elderberry tea, elderberry flower, elderflower, lavender. You can make a warm bath, like close to room temperature, right? And tip a little lavender in it. You can drink thyme tea, you can drink rosemary tea, you can drink fever grass. Most of us are familiar with fever grass. I remember that growing up as a child, right? Or eucalyptus. Again, we can have this very trepid bath, and we can put a little bit of our eucalyptus oil in it. Sage, we can drink our sage tea or yarrow tea. That's YARROW, or ginger tea. Okay, these open up the pores so that we sweat more. We sweat more to really just calm down the body, cool down the body. Also your cayenne pepper. So you want to be adding cayenne pepper to your meal, or of course, you know, you can make the cayenne pepper tea. Some people are like, you know, afraid of the heat from the pepper, but yeah, you can mix it with your apple cider vinegar and a little honey and drink a lot of cool cool water, because you want to keep your body hydrated. Lots of coconut water, Gatorade, because you know you're replacing the electrolytes in the body, keeping yourself hydrated. So those are some of the things you can do. Other than that, there are some things that people used to do like back in the days, and most of what I've said today is what people have been practicing for years upon years upon years. Okay, it's not new. It's just that we became more, we started accepting more of a scientific approach. And mark you, nothing is wrong with science. Well, kind of science is the reason we are having what we're having today, you know. But nothing is wrong with science. It's good, you know, and everything is good, but man seek out invention and they can do all sorts of crazy things. So yes, so I'm saying it's not new. So one of the things they used to do is soak their feet in like really hot water, as hot as they can bear it. And then they would put 2 pairs of socks. One you want to be dry, and one you want to be soaked in cold water. So when you're done soaking your feet, and you do this at night, when you're done soaking your feet in the hot water, then you will put on the sock that you had soaking in the cold water. You wring it dry as possible, and then you put that on. And then you put on the dried pair of socks over that, and you go to your bed and sleep. All right? All of what I'm telling you now, I said this in my other video, there are many people who are going to the hospitals. They're told that they have the virus. They're sent back home. I remember it was Italy and I think Spain that were not treating people over 80 years old. What do you do if you fall in the category that you are told you have this virus, you're tested positive, and you're sent home to go quarantine? How do you help yourself when the hospitals can no longer help you? You might want to have some information. You might want to have some natural remedies at home that you can resort to. We all want to stay alive, right? So here are some other things, quick suggestions I'm going to make to you. Is farming. I remember when I just started talking about this thing, I was encouraging people, stock up on supplies of your vitamins, minerals that you will need if the hospitals can't see you. Or you want to start building your immune system before this virus gets to where you're at. Okay, I also said you want to be stocking up on food supplies. I also said you want to be farming. Okay, so if you have a little space in your backyard, here are some things that you can be farming now. Don't spend all day watching the news. You need to do something that can help yourself and your family to survive. You need other activities to occupy you. Take your mind off a little so you don't start having panic attacks and struggle with anxiety. Here are little things that we can farm. We can farm the Spanish thyme. I tell you, there's a whole bunch of it downstairs here at my apartment. Spanish thyme, good for flus, cold, lot of things, okay? So you want to be farming that. It catches very quickly, very quickly. You want to be farming leaf of life. You can farm your cilantro if you have backyard space. If not, use flower pot. I remember I asked somebody to share with my church about farming. She said, use your water boots, use paint cans, use tires, old tires. So we can find ways to farm in our backyard. You want to do little peppers, you want to do bell peppers, you want to do scotch bonnet, you really want to do cayenne pepper, you want to do bird pepper. Peppers are really good. You want to do some callaloo, you want to do mints of all sorts. Remember, mint is a very calming herb, and for those who struggle with anxiety, you need to be drinking more mint tea, okay? You want to be farming thyme. Very good for bad colds, okay? Bronchitis, cold where you're coughing up a lot of mucus. You want thyme tea, or soak it like I showed you in my first video. Pumpkin grows so easily, so quickly. Just put 3 seeds in the ground, watered 3 days. In 3 days time, you're going to see that popping up, okay? And that run like wildfire, especially when you get a little rain. So ask God to send the rain, okay? Pumpkins, you will have that to last you for a while. Carrots, sarsi, right? When we were growing up, you see, part of the reason a lot of people have diabetes, you know, the top 10 chronic diseases in America is diet related. They all can be treated with a change of diet, okay? So we talk about sarsi. A lot of people have diabetes, you know. Why? Diabetes 2, why? Because when we were growing up, we supplemented so much with our bitters. Every week, your parents make sure you got a good, well, every school holiday we got washout, what they call washout, until we heard doctors saying stop drinking herbs, stop giving the kids herbs, okay? All right, we also had to drink bitters every weekend. We have taken bitters out of our diet, and we increase our sugars. So we see a lot of trouble with diabetes. And when I mention diabetes, I'm talking about you want to have some bitter melon, you want to be planting your aloe vera, you want to have your seriously, you want to drink your neem tea. There are a lot of neem in Jamaica, and moringa. Okay, so if you're having problems with diabetes, these are some of the things you need to add to your diet every day. Drink those teas: neem, moringa, sarsi, aloe vera, anything that's bitter. The bitter herbs, very, very good for your digestive tract. It helps you to digest better, and also a lot of them clean your bloodstream, and also it helps for persons to manage their diabetes. All right, ginger tea, you want to plant ginger if you can. You can even plant your turmeric. You want to plant fever grass. No, you have to go so far to find these things. When I remember when I was younger, they were like, especially fever grass, it was everywhere. Dandelion is good for so many things. Hibiscus, when we were growing up, we saw the hibiscus, and we used to pick the nosy and put it, you know, that beautiful red flower that it has, and we take the nosy and we put on our noses. Hibiscus, very good for hypertension, okay? So we want to be planting back our hibiscus trees. Make yourself a nice garden, okay? You want to plant your dandelion, the herb, the leaves are good. You want to plant your aloe vera, your tuna. When I was younger, I used to use the tuna to wash my hair and to care my hair along with the aloe vera. Very good for skin and hair. Guinea hen weed, all of those things. You have backyard space, start ask your neighbor what they have over there that you can take and what you have that you can give to them. Let us start living like that so humanity can survive this, okay? I'm talking a little about juicing. Make sure that you're doing your juices every day as much as you can. There is one that my husband does for me pretty often. This is how I take care or manage hypertension, not by going on pills, by juicing. So cucumber, lemon, once you get those two together, it really lowers the blood pressure. Cucumber, lemon, garlic, ginger, and he juices that, sweetens it with honey. Once I drink that, it's gone for days, weeks, months even, until something else crazy cracks up. So do your juices, juice a lot, help yourself. Some little practical practices: take a thermos. We used to have thermos, a lot of thermos, okay? Take your thermos to work with you, with your ginger tea. It could be your lemon tea. It could be your garlic tea. It could be your soup. Anything that helps you right now to build your immune system. If you have your thermos with you at work, you can be sipping tea, whether lunchtime, afternoon, a little probably like at 10 a.m. So you keep that and you're sipping and your body is getting these nutrients that you need, ginger, thyme, throughout the day. Okay, so that's one of the things you can start doing in this season. Or walk with your infused water bottle, so you have your lemon in it. Remember the orange peel and the lime peel tea, remember those. You want to have your infused water bottle, you can have your lemon in that, your garlic. You can put just about anything in it. Okay, I tend to use garlic, a little lemon, because for hypertension. All right, so you can walk around with that. The lemon though, if you drink your warm lemon water in the mornings, that is boosting your vitamin C and your digestive tract. So you want to be doing that. So keep your infused water bottles with you throughout the day. Have something that builds you up, that builds your immune system in that water bottle. What that means is that you're getting it in your system throughout the day. All right, walk with an essential oil. Usually I wear cilantro. I love the scent of cilantro, so I wear a little bit of it on my clothes, even without by just smelling it, by just smelling the essential oils. It's boosting your immune system. So every now and again, you're sitting on the bus, you have to take the bus, you can be, you know, sniffing it a little, just smell it. It clears you up and it boosts your immune system. Get sunlight. You need lots of sunlight. You want to be exercising, walking. As I said, you can exercise by walking. You're standing in the kitchen and you're cooking, just make steps while you're standing. I do that if I'm trying to get my steps in. So I might be cutting up something at the sink and I'm stepping. I am moving, my lymph nodes are moving around, and that's important for our lymph nodes to move. That's what pushes toxins out of our body. So again, that's the information I want to leave with you today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing the video. In this time, let us not leave prayer out. With everything we pray. If God don't help us, nothing, whether alternative medicine or allopathic medicine, will not help us in this time and season. So most of all, with all you're going to be doing, with all you're going to be supplementing on, with all the practices you're going to be including now in your lifestyle, prayer has to be the main practice, and God has to be our main source. And it helped me to thank God for all these wonderful herbs and spices that He made when He made us, because He had us in mind. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to share the video. If you appreciate the information, please like the videos on YouTube and also subscribe to the channel. I'll keep doing this from time to time. Bye.